Good afternoon, I'm Dana Sanchez and I'm going to be doing a presentation for you guys. Please raise your hand if you mow your lawn, use leaf blowers, or hire someone to do that for you. You guys can put it down now. This may seem insignificant, but if you spread that all across Florida, it becomes a significant pollution source. According to a study by Yingming Qin, author of The Spatial and Dynamic Impact of Air Pollution, by 2019, almost the entire global population, or 99%, lived in areas where air quality surpassed the regulatory limits. You may be asking yourself, since it's already the norm and so far you personally may not have experienced any detrimental effects, why does this matter to us? Air pollution is unfortunately playing a huge role in our health. It's contributing to a rise in respiratory and cardiovascular diseases. It disproportionately impacts vulnerable population and is raising urgent questions about what can be done to improve the situation. By the end of my speech, I hope you guys are able to take away how you as individuals can make a difference and how we as a collective can vote for policies that promote cleaner technology and strengthen emission standards. I picked this topic specifically as we deserve to breathe clean air. So I'm going to be going over how we specifically measure air quality and the effects it has on the general population, how air pollution specifically affects children, elderly, and disabled individuals, and lastly, how we can change the reality of our situation. According to Saghir, author of Environmental Pollution and Cardiovascular Disease, in 2019, particulate matter accounted for 26% of age-standardized cardiovascular disease deaths in the Eastern Mediterranean region, primarily due to coronary artery disease. Even in developed countries with lower PM exposure, long-term exposure is linked to an increase of CVD mortality. This being implemented with an estimated global mortality of 8.9 million deaths. Some of the ways we can actually combat this is measuring the quality of air, which is laser scattering, which is a laser that interacts with airborne particles such as dust or smoke, and it detects it by measuring their size, concentration, and density. The tapered element osculating microbalance, or TEOM for short, is used to continuously measure particulate concentration. And lastly, optical sensors detect air pollutants by measuring how the light interacts with particles or gases. And for our vulnerable population, so children, elderly, and disabled individuals are particularly vulnerable to harmful effects of air pollution. According to Garrett M., author of Traffic-Related Air Pollution and Asthma Onset in Children, a prospective cohort study with individual exposure to measurement. The within community effects indicative of long-term local traffic sources were similar in the magnitude to effects of community average of NO sub 2 across communities, suggesting that both regional and local pollutions contribute to the association with asthma. Our elderly populations have been seeing an increase in developing cardiovascular diseases, and our immune-compromised counterparts are also having an increase of lung infections and CVD as well. So some of the ways we can counteract this. So unfortunately, as the article advances in prevention of shipping-related air pollution notes, the emissions of CO2, SO, and NO are among the dangerous pollutants produced by maritime transportation. So even that is affected. So the movement of goods across ocean contributes to the pollutions we all face. Some of the ways we can combat this is shopping sustainably through purchasing goods from companies who have a green initiative, using reusable bags, and buying secondhand or upcycled goods. We also have a duty to pay attention to the policies being enacted and to consider the ramifications of not enforcing strong restrictions on air pollutions or investing in public transportation. Some of the ways we can prioritize this is walking or cycling for short distances, using public transit like buses and trains, and even carpooling. So now that we know the steps we can take to combat air pollution, I'm going to do a conclusion. So to conclude everything, air pollution is leading to a premature death. It increases cardiovascular diseases, pulmonary infections. It disproportionately affects vulnerable populations. And lastly, I have provided steps we as individuals can take to reduce air pollutants, such as reducing personal uses and voting for policies that invest in our health. We began with the reality that 99% of the world breathes air above regulatory limits. Let's choose not to stay among that majority. Let's insist on clean air, not just in theory, but in practice, right where we live here in Florida, for ourselves and the future generations. Like Dr. Tedros Adhanom, the Director General of World Health Organization, stated, "Air pollution is the new tobacco. The simple act of breathing is killing 7 million people a year and harming billions more."